You're listening to Menopause Natural Solutions, Episode 5, Menopause Survey Results. Welcome to Menopause Natural Solutions, your podcast for all things perimenopause and menopause related. Stay tuned as naturopath Jennifer Harrington explains how to use natural therapies to transform your health and happiness. Hello and welcome back. Today's episode we're going to focus on the results of the menopause survey that I put in my Facebook page. If you haven't been to my Facebook page yet, I've popped a link in the show notes. Jump over and come and join us. Anyway, this was a SurveyMonkey survey that's actually still live if you want to contribute. So the results of these show very clear patterns. So I thought I would discuss this with you today. The survey consisted of 6 questions. The first one was, have you seen a naturopath? And it surprised me that 50% of the replies said no. And it got me thinking, I'm wondering if you know what a naturopath is. When I first decided to retrain and become a naturopath was 20 years ago. And I remember my friends asking me, what's that? And maybe that's still an issue these days. So I've been to university. I have trained in anatomy and physiology, in pathophysiology, pharmacology, biochemistry. But the difference is the tools in my toolkit are not pharmaceutical drugs. Instead, I prescribe nutrition, herbal medicine, lifestyle changes. In question number 2, I asked you what your most problematic symptoms were, and it's no surprise that in number 1 was hot flushes. And this is something that I've focused on in the past, so I'll leave a link to the previous podcast episode on this so that we can move on. Number 2 was moods. Now, this is what I'm going to be focusing on in next week's podcast, so if you haven't hit subscribe yet, please do now so you don't miss that episode. The third thing was more to do with vaginal dryness and libido and sexual dysfunction. Don't worry, guys, if this is you, I've popped this down on my content creation list and we will be discussing that very, very shortly. But I wanted to give you a quick little tip today for vaginal dryness, and that is vitamin E pessaries. A lot of people haven't heard of these before. With vitamin E, you can take it orally. You can take it vaginally as a pessary, and you can take it anally as a suppository for hemorrhoids. Now, in the case of vaginal dryness, I do recommend the pessaries. So you just pop one in at night as you're going to bed. Make sure you wear a pad overnight. And vitamin E really helps to soothe and restore and lubricate your vagina. So give that one a try. I hope that helps. But as I said before, we're going to come back and focus on this in more detail. I just wanted to give you something today so that you could try something and hopefully start seeing some results. And the fourth most common symptom was heart-related. So things like racing heartbeat, palpitations, angina. As cardiovascular disease is the number 1 cause of death in women, it is something that I've focused on in the past. So I've attached to the show notes a link to the blog. Ladies, what I can't stress enough is that cardiovascular disease is a lifestyle disease. It is mostly preventable and can be reversible in some instances. So if you are experiencing any heart-related issues, please make sure you read that blog. Have a look at the risk factors and which ones you can change. Have a look at the different tests, make sure you've done them all, and then have a look at the different treatment options, mostly focusing on nutritional supplements. Question number 3 was, how is the menopausal transition affecting you? And we had an assortment of answers here, but I'll discuss the top 3. So number 1 was fatigue. Just feeling absolutely wiped out, worn out, and ready for bed by the sounds of it. Number 2 was emotions. Feeling really emotional, quick to tears, quick to anger, these kind of things. And number 3 were moods, but also how moods were affecting your relationship with everyone, people at work, your family. And this has really enforced to me the need to do an episode focusing on emotions. So that's coming up next week, guys, so stay tuned. And I've also got a special guest lined up in the near future, Khadine. And Khadine is an EFT specialist, an emotional freedom technique, and she'll explain how you can use that from the convenience of your own home to help reduce your moods, your emotions, anxiety, depression, stress, etc. So stay tuned for that one. If you have had a different experience than what we have discussed so far, please fill in the survey. That way I'll add what's going on for you to the content creation list, and we can discuss solutions for you pretty soon. Question 4 was, what is your ideal solution? Again, I had a range of answers. Some people mentioned they were after lifestyle solutions, things like stress management techniques, relaxation techniques. Some were after supplements or dietary changes. So happy no one asked for the magic pill, hopefully because we all know by now that it doesn't exist. Question number 5 was, what are you currently doing to ease your transition? And the key theme here was really worrying. Vast majority of you are just waiting it out. Guys, perimenopause can be a decade. And if you don't do anything about it, most women find that their symptoms start to ease a couple of years post-menopause. I've heard it explained as a 13-year transition. Oh my goodness, that is far too long. That is a huge chunk of your life to sit and wait it out. It's time for you to get into the driver's seat. This is your health. This is your life, and you deserve more. Question number 6. If you could sit down with me and ask me any question, what would it be? By far the top response was, where do I start? What can I do to change this? And I actually have a solution for you. Starting July 1st, the online retreat is opening. So if you're wondering what the online retreat is, it's a program I've put together to replicate the results that you would get in a destination health retreat, but from the comfort of your own home. It's going to be focusing on the menopausal transition, but we're also going to look at optimal health and graceful aging. It's for women who don't know where to start. Week 1, we're looking at basic testing, what the optimal ranges are, when to supplement, what to supplement with. Week 2, we're looking at nutrition. What foods do we need to add? What foods do we need to avoid? How to put it all together. Week 3, we are looking at lifestyle. What stress management techniques we can use, things like exercise, improving your sleep, social habits like smoking and alcohol. Week 4, we're going to look at the environment and how that affects your general health and your menopausal transition. This is a topic that many women haven't thought about. Are you aware that there are xenoestrogens in the environment, and these chemicals act like estrogen in the body and can disrupt and play havoc to your whole hormonal environment? As this is the first time I've ran the online retreat, I'm looking for just a handful of foundational members to run through the program with me. So what I've set up is a wait list, and I've included that link in the show notes. So if it interests you, pop your name on the list and I'll shoot you a quick email when the application's open, and hopefully I will see you there. Tip of the week. Consider if mould plays a role in your symptom picture. I live in Sydney, Australia, and all up the east coast of Australia, and I'm sure in many other parts of the world, the combination of heat, rain and humidity is perfect for the growth of mould. Most people link mold exposure with respiratory issues such as sinusitis. But did you know it can also cause fatigue, weakness, body aches and pains, headaches, vision issues, digestive problems, cognitive decline, brain fog, sensitive skin and rashes, mood swings, issues with temperature regulation and flushing, excessive thirst. It can put a metallic taste in your mouth. It can increase the frequency of urination, cause electric shock-like sensations in your body, tingling and dizziness. Doesn't this sound very similar to menopause? Remember, not all mold can be seen. And if you think that mold is worth investigating, Google your local building biologist. If you are in Sydney, I highly recommend Joe Leah from No Tox Rocks. Well, that's it for me this week. Thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this little exploration of menopause, and I hope you're feeling that you're not alone, that there are other women out there going through the same thing as you are, and that this is too long to put your life on hold. It's time to take action. It's time to start living the best life possible for you. So leaving on that thought, there's just a couple of little action steps for you this week. One is, if you haven't been over to the Facebook page before, please come over. If you're interested in filling out the survey, please do. I'd love to hear from you. And final action step is to put your name on the wait list for the online retreat if it interests you. I really want to keep this group small, so the numbers will be limited, as I really want to create a wonderful community amongst all the women involved. So until next week, please take care, and I look forward to seeing you then as we discuss moods and the menopausal transition. Bye. To Menopause Natural Solutions. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, share, and leave us a review. This podcast contains general information about menopause. It is provided as a guide and is not intended to replace medical advice.